punk revolution now. Today... Today we're going to be having a little bit of fun. You see, 2024, happy 2024. 2024 is a election year. You can see I'm wearing my But Her Emails hat, a reference for us political geeks. 2024 is an election year, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to start off, with a little bit of an exciting top 10 most liberal bands of all time. A perfectly curated list examining the history of the variety of bands to put together the perfect list of the top 10 most liberal bands of all time, because obviously we don't want Trump to win this year, so this is what we're gonna do, is make a list of the top 10 liberal bands to cope with the fact that we might have Trump as president. So, let us begin and crack open the door with number 10, shall we? This is going from 10 to 1, so watch the whole video to see who is the number 1 most liberal. Let's begin. Number 10 on the list is, of course, he has to go on the list. It is Seat Headrest, everyone's favorite indie rocker of the 20,000s. What century is it again? The 21st century? Look at this freaking guy. What's his name? Will Toledo? Look at him. So, okay, I wanted to put him higher on the list, but truthfully, I looked through his lyrics. I couldn't find anything in there that was explicitly politically liberal, but it doesn't matter because, 1, he looks liberal, 2, he's a freaking furry, okay? This is some leaked confidential information that you are hearing for the first time on the Punk Revolution Now YouTube channel, that Will Toledo, aka Seat Headrest, is in fact a furry, and he's also LGBTQ. So, I mean, look, maybe it's a little bit rude of me to assume he's a liberal based off the fact that he's a furry, but let's be real, look at him! He's a liberal for sure, so he's going on the list. Number 9 is going to be Pink Floyd. So, obviously, if you're a band of all men, that's gonna detract from your liberal points, but if you're a band of all men who embrace the color pink, then yes, you're gonna for sure make the top 10 most liberal bands of all time list, and it gets even deeper. They literally have an album titled The Wall, which is about something... The Wall is about something to do with Syd Barrett and fascism or something like that, but, it's a liberal thing, okay? And then they also have Animals and probably other songs that are about capitalism or something. But point is Pink Floyd is objectively... Look, I think they're probably liberals. Even though they're a bunch of old white men now, and maybe some of them are closeted fascists, which happens sometimes to old white men who are very financially successful. The point is the fact that they have the color pink in there, and the fact that some of their songs are actually genuinely criticizing capitalism and liberal, they're very influential. They're gonna go on the list. Also, did I mention they're freaking progressive rock? The genre is literally called progressive. So, and they were a big progressive rock band. So they're going on the list. And let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is gonna be Bladee. Of course, we have to put Bladee on the list. First off, Bladee is... Well, I wish I could just put the entire Drain Gang on here, but let's just stick with Bladee because I think Bladee is the most liberal of the entire crew. Bladee is Swedish. Sweden is literally socialist. Bladee is literally socialist, probably. Bladee has 2 E's at the end of the word blade, which to me indicates he's very loosey-goosey, like a classic liberal who's okay to spell things a little bit funky and is afraid to be a little funky and do things not the conventional conservative way. And also his music is just packed to the brim with liberal sounds and liberal textures, and it's just this is a liberal album cover, liberal kind of aesthetics all around, and liberal sounds. Again, not so much about the lyrics. Maybe you can do some digging and find some liberal lyrics, references to partying and doing liberal fun stuff. But I think ultimately it's really about the vibe with Bladee. Bladee gives a liberal vibe. Of course, we have to put Bladee on the list. If you don't think Bladee is liberal, you are lying to yourself. Next on the list is going to be Dead Kennedys. To settle down the old farts in the comments who are getting mad, we're putting a more conventional liberal band on the list. And honestly, they deserve to go on the list because they are literally freaking amazing. They are punk as fudge. They tell the Nazi punks to F off, which is very epic. They literally have an album, or an EP rather, titled In God We Trust Inc. And look at this cover. It is literally simultaneously criticizing capitalism and consumerism and religion and all the toxic far-right thingamajigs in the American system, and the dead Kennedys were so freaking epic, not afraid to... They were super liberal. They were literally so freaking liberal. And if you think that's exciting that they're so liberal, and they're only number 6 on the list, then you know this video has a lot more liberalism in coming your way if Death Grips... If Dead Kennedys is only number 6. I said Dead Kennedys was 6, but they were actually number 7, so that really blows your mind to show you how freaking liberal we are about to crack open. So if that's number 7, let's go to number 6. This is actually number 6 now. Number 6 is My Chemical Romance. My Chemical Romance. You're probably wondering, why on earth would they make this list? Well, if you're thinking that, you're an idiot because it should be obvious. What is more liberal than a bunch of emos with dyed hair coming to comfort you and telling you that it's okay to not be okay? It's okay to let the vampire within you out. They are genuinely an amazing band, and I think the openness that they are able to convey with their emotions, and also their kind of what's the liberal way of putting this? The way they're not afraid to break the boundaries of what the gender roles of men should be, I think is very liberal. Also, their music is amazing, and I think they are liberal. So they deserve to go number 6. I will admit, though, 6 is pretty high in the list, but I would have put them higher. But the reason I put them at number 6 instead of in the top 2 is because Gerard Way, the vocalist of My Chemical Romance, look how liberal this person is. They are unfortunately distantly related to Joe Rogan, and that certainly brings them down a few notches to 6, but obviously I have to put them on the list because this is a list that is objective. So we're going to put them at 6. Number 5. We are now in the top 5. Number 5 is going to be Crass. They basically invented liberalism. Crass is an old school punk rock band. They actually are considered one of the founding bands of the genre of anarcho-punk. So anarcho-punk is basically just liberal punk. Anarcho-punk is punk that is anarchist, but anarchist is really secretly is like a synonym for liberal, basically. What we have is basically an incredible band that plays really epic music that gives them, I might break the rules here, but I'm going to say it anyways, a middle finger to the system. Behind my hand, I'm giving the middle finger. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that on YouTube, but that's why we're the Punk Revolution. On Punk Revolution Now channel, we are not afraid to break the rules, hence the Punk Revolution. And Crass are not afraid to give a finger to the system. They are very liberal. The way they go to the deep core of the whole system and say, enough is enough. And they critique capitalism and inequality, and they want freedom and peace and love all around the world, which is very liberal, and I love them, and they literally have inspired so many punk bands, including my band Fireman and other bands, to embrace being a hecking epic anarcho-liberal punk in your music, and Crass are awesome, and they deserve all the love in the world. Number 4, and I think some of you are gonna really like this one, is Bjork. Bjork is... well, she just gives off the vibes of like a quirky liberal woman who's very epic. I love Bjork. I love Bjork's music. I mean, she's actually always been pretty darn politically engaged. She supports various liberation movements around the world very fearlessly, including right now Palestine, so shout out to Bjork for that. Bjork is Icelandic? I'm guessing Iceland is basically socialist. She also has an entire freaking political section on Wikipedia, which to me gives bonus liberal points, and you should just go read that if you want the full explanation why she makes the list. And would you look at that, even on Wikipedia, it says Bjork is part of the Crass liberal collective, the anarcho collective of Crass. So that's a little bonus points for Crass, a little bonus points for Bjork, and as you can see, it's all connected. It's an international web of liberal musicians coming together to overthrow Donald Trump. And I think I'm a part of it too. Oh, and also Bjork was in a band called Cuckle. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's liberal though, but it's cool. Number 3, probably not surprising to anybody, but it obviously needs to go on the list. It is Green Day doesn't like American idiots. And that includes MAGA America. Green Day is very epic. We support Green Day on Punk Revolution Now's YouTube channel, even if they're a little poppy. Their music is super liberal. We still like Green Day though because it's fun and they have liberal songs. Say no to MAGA America. So yeah, Green Day is number 3, and they are awesome. They actually, I will say, Green Day did just release a new album, and I listened to it, and it very much exceeded my expectations, because most of Green Day's albums in the past decade I just don't like, but this album I actually did like. It's not amazing, mind-blowing, but it kind of reminds me a little bit of Jeff Rosenstock, kind of cool, epic, fun punk with very liberal lyrics. So good job, Green Day, for being an iconic liberal band and continuing in the year 2023 after all these decades of being a band to continue releasing good music and being a freaking liberal band. We are now in the top 2, and it was close. It was very difficult to determine who is going to take that number 1 spot, and I'm sure there's going to be debates in the comments over if number 2 actually deserves number 1, but we need to just keep the video rolling, so let's just say it, and don't get too mad, but number 2 is 100 Gecs. 100 Gecs is literally just oozing with liberal vibes. They are so freaking quirky, they are so freaking experimental, they are so freaking out there, and they have the weirdest freaking lyrics about Porsches falling out of a horse. I don't even know. I just get vibes from their lyrics that they are challenging the entire system through their freaking weird liberal quirkiness. I think 100 Gecs is basically synonymous with liberal. They should just be called 100 liberals, or liberal Gecs, or 1,000 liberals. And they have a tree, which is very environmentalist, and they also have their shirts up over their head, which is very liberal. And come on, folks. Can you think of a more liberal vibe than listening to 100 Gecs in the car on the way to the Biden rally? No. And I know some of you are going to be mad because you want 100 Gecs to take number 1, but it's time for us to get to the number 1. And number 1 is a very special band, and they're also the most liberal, and they take the cake for the most liberal band of all time, and that is Death Grips. Death Grips is basically synonymous with liberal. They are, well, how do I put this? What could be possibly more liberal than putting a freaking sausage on your album cover? And when I say sausage, no, I am not referring to your grandma's sausage or vegan sausage. I am referring to a specific body part that is private. And putting that private part upon a cover that you are releasing as a major band, and giving a middle finger to the record label and society by putting your sausage on the cover, that is some wild liberal nonsense. That might be even too liberal for me, and okay, it's not too liberal for me, but it's pretty close. That's how liberal we're talking, folks. Their lyrics are so liberal that I don't even understand them. I feel like I'm listening to their lyrics about the powers that be, etc., and I can't even keep up with it because it's too philosophically deep for me. It's just 100 Gecs kind of does the same thing where it just throws all this weird, quirky, liberal stuff at you and you don't even know how to comprehend it, and it makes you realize the entire system is rotten to the core and we need a revolution. But when the Death Grips takes the cake, I think, really just because they have a longer discography than 100 Gecs, and also the sausage cover is pretty untoppable in terms of being a wild liberal thing to do. Ex-military, No Love Deep Web, Government Plates, The Money Store. I don't even know what those album titles mean, but they give vibes of being just aware the whole system is crooked, and it's a cryptic message, literally feeding to the masses liberal subliminal messages. And that to me is just, you don't get more liberal than being so liberal you literally flip the entire whole planet on the head and flip it into a cryptic digital message about the system being corrupt. They also sample Bjork in a lot of their songs, which is a very liberal thing to do, and I just kind of feel like they're super influential and have just influenced the entire world to become more liberal, which obviously is an amazing achievement, and I really can't explain more than that. Death Grips, congratulations. Sorry, 100 Gecs, you were close. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Buckle up for a wild election season, election year. Lots of crazy things going on right now. And I really appreciate the chance for you to watch this video. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. I always really appreciate it. And thank you for listening to my new EP, Fireman Territorial Conquest 2024. Streaming is always a great way to support my channel. Thanks so much for watching. Punk Revolution. Nah.